the Buckhead Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Live Tonight. Featuring your hosts, Paul J. Daly and Kyle Mountsier. With me, the voice of Automotive, Michael Cirillo. Music by Al Kutri and the Troublemakers. Amazing conversations with Liza Borches, Erikka Tiffani Wells, Steve Greenfield, Patrick Abad, Zack Simon, Todd Caputo, Kerri of AutoFi, and Zack Krause. Now please welcome your hosts, Paul J. Daly and Kyle Mountsier.
I don't know any dance moves. Let's go. Okay. Look, if you haven't noticed, we're going full send. Good evening and welcome to Live Tonight with ASOTU at the Buckhead Theater in Atlanta. Let's hear it for Atlanta. Come on, let's hear it for Atlanta. Because we're on the live stream now. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. But before we get started, we want to thank the industry partners that made this possible. So thank you so much to AutoFi, Gubagoo, Velocity Automotive, and sMedia for helping make this night memorable for everyone. Let's hear it for them one more time. That's right.
Paul, look, everybody doesn't know it yet, but we keep on, every time we do a Live Tonight, the guest list just keeps inching up in authority. Actually, tonight's roster came to the stage. I saw it was the whole roster came to the stage, looked at me and said, hold my beer,
Yeah,
just like
did.
that.
Yeah, it did. And let's not forget the ASOTU community who came to be a part of this live studio audience. And to those of you joining us on the live stream from across the country. And how about this band, ladies and gentlemen? Al Kutri and the Troublemakers. Oh, so good.
Well,
So
tonight is a special occasion because we've just screened the pilot episode of our new show, More Than Cars, to a packed room. If you haven't heard of More Than Cars, it's an upbeat docuseries that smashes the stereotypes of the industry we all know and love so much.
And you may be wondering why we felt the timing was right to make a show highlighting the humanity of retail auto.
It's probably the employee shortage.
Nope.
People trying to convince dealers everyone only wants to buy online.
My marriage therapist told me to never use absolutes, Kyle, so that's not it either. Everybody gets
Okay, I got it. It must be the surging existential threat of artificial intelligence ruthlessly decimating traditional employment structures with a cold, heartless efficiency.
Such a nerd.
Okay, but seriously, the reason we committed to sharing the stories in More Than Cars is the same reason we put on events like this. Because this amazing and diverse group of people are the ones who live out these stories on the front lines every single day. And when you bring people like this together in one place, it's powerful.
Sure is. We founded ASOTU to band this community together and shine a light on all the reasons each person in the retail auto community should be very proud of what they do every day.
From lot porter all the way to dealer principal.
Or you could say from service advisor to service provider.
Yeah, that's true too. Make no mistake, whether you're in the audience or you're watching on the live stream, you are the stars of this show. And we're honored to be here with you.
Atlanta. The only city where my GPS asks, "Are you sure?" when I try to go anywhere during rush hour.
Yeah, you know, on the way here, actually, it told me, when it's safe, y'all better turn around and go home. See, I don't know when it learned how to say y'all, but as a Southerner myself, I sure felt at home.
Well, recently we heard that Atlanta traffic was experiencing a new phenomenon with the introduction of all the EVs to rush hour.
Yeah, see, although EVs tout some of the fastest 0 to 60 speeds, as fast as 2.3 seconds.
It's really fast.
In Atlanta, all EVs have been relegated to the same 0 to 60 time as every other car. Usually about 1,238.54 seconds or just over 20 minutes.
Sounds about right. Just from the airport. One of the reasons there's so much traffic in Atlanta, though, because there's so many great sports teams.
Yeah, you got the Braves.
Let's hear it for the Braves.
The Hawks. Anyone? Atlanta United. See?
Wow.
See?
You would know the name of the soccer
team. You always got to get the soccer team. and the Falcons.
That was a surprise response, I have to say. Okay. Well, look. I think I read a news story that the Atlanta Falcons have become so good at dropping the ball, they've been invited to host the New Year's Eve countdown. I can already see it. Too soon? It's like, he's at the 5, 4, 3, happy fumble, right?
All jokes aside, hey, thank you so much for being here tonight. ASOTU is committed to telling a better story of retail auto, the full story. The story that is written by your hands in the work you do every day to serve your community, by showing up and treating customers and each other with dignity and compassion. You literally join hundreds of thousands of others who are pushing back against the negative stigma and proving dealerships are vital to people and communities.
All the technology in the world can transform the ground under our feet, but nothing can replace the most important part of the car business, and that's literally each of you. We have a fun show planned for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Automotive's most attractive host, Michael Cirillo. Bam! Come on. I think you wrote that line.
Yeah, he must have wrote that line.
Blushing.
He's blushing. Yeah, see the red? Yeah.
You know what I feel like over here? I feel like either the stages are getting bigger every time we do this, or this is the most clever way to get fired.
It's actually the stench.
You're on the floor next time. You're on the floor next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Michael Cirillo's voice.
Oh,
what about that voice?
The voice of Automotive. He was literally backstage getting vocal tips from the band and the singers in the band.
That's how it goes.
Right, there's a piece of equipment, right, Kendall?
Mayo, nayo, nayo.
Oh, no.
Actually, he's been getting pretty tight with the band.
He has been getting pretty tight with the band. Hey, well, we have a great show for you tonight. Our first guest hails from Georgia.
Whoa. Before we get into all of that, you know what I'm saying? Before we get into that, at this point, we've done this a couple of times. I'm basically an honorary member of
You're not supposed to
No,
be
you can't leave the podium.
Right.
Whoa.
What is
I
he
feel
doing?
like
Ow.
that thing we were working on, the like dealer went down to Georgia thing. Come on, guys. And a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're in the shop, Michael.
Nobody counts the band but Thomas.
Thomas, come on. The people are here. I'm basically in the
No.
band.
What do we?
Thomas,
No,
come
come
on,
on.
man.
Don't do it.
Please.
No! Oh, come on, gosh. Come on! We gotta... What? Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? I told you not to do this. Let's go little with him now.
Well, the dealer went down to Georgia. He was looking for some cars to buy. He hit the auction lane. Prices were insane, so he thought, why not even try?
Went down to Georgia. He was looking to sell a car. So he took a step, heard the salesman quip. I never seen you out this far.
Okay, hold on. It's gonna take me a minute to get the mic high enough. All right, I got one. I got one for the detailers in the room. The detailer went down to Georgia. She was looking for a car to shine. So she grabbed a trade, spent half a day, and put a jewel on the front line.
Down to Georgia, looking for a new high. Stay at the drive-through lane of a Chick-fil-A. Now those kids are selling tires.
The salesman went down to Georgia, started walking the lot at 11. A text said, hi, nice of you to arrive. I've been here since 7.
We got one more. We got one more. We gotta end this thing. Too much for you. much from you. Don't listen to him anymore. All right, we got one more and then we're out of this. ASOTU went down to Georgia to start an automotive riot. They met dealers and techs and advisors and vets, and they all went home inspired.
We are just getting started. After the break, we welcome Erikka Tiffani Wells to the show.
At sMedia, we envision a world where connected, business-ready data drives an excellent customer experience.
We have a lean and efficient advertising strategy, and sMedia is a big reason why we are so successful.
sMedia provides digital advertising along with vendor-agnostic insights on our attribution platform, Attributely.
And we use that to optimize our digital marketing strategies, our goals, and our ROI.
It allows us to make more impactful decisions.
I have yet to see anyone take an actual transparent approach like you guys do.
Welcome back to Live Tonight with ASOTU. We are so excited for you to hear all the conversations tonight.
Yeah, our first guest tonight brings the fire wherever she goes when she's not selling cars as a senior sales manager with Walser Automotive. She's speaking, inspiring, and mentoring as the VP of Women of Color Automotive Network. Did we mention she's also a full-time mom? Let's hear it for the full-time moms in the room. That's right. So put your hands together for the one and only Erikka Tiffani Wells. Oh, Erikka, welcome home.
I know, it's good to be here.
It's home and for so many reasons.
It's home for so many reasons, 20 years here in Atlanta.
So I know we're introducing you to a lot of people in the industry for the first time. Give us the quick rundown of how you started in the industry, how it started and how it's going. Let's go there.
I started in the car business almost 20 years ago. I was a high school dropout. I got my GED. I was a single mom and just looking for a place to work and working at a daycare. My car broke down. I needed to get it fixed. That was my start in the automotive industry. I started working in service, and I saw people like me who needed car repairs. I saw stories like mine. I ended up going to work at a buy here, pay here. I sold cars for a couple of years, got into the new car business, started working at Jim Ellis right here in Atlanta. And that was my story. I've been here ever since. I've fallen in love, and the automotive industry is my home.
All right, that sounds like a very typical automotive story, actually, right?
Yeah.
Who in here, the auto industry found you, right? Like you didn't find it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people ended up that way. So, so now you're with Walser, different organization, definitely an organization driven by a lot of analysis, a lot of data. What's your biggest takeaway from your time there? It's been how long now?
About 9 months.
All right, and what do you know now that you didn't know then?
Well, I'll say this, being in the car business for as long as I had, it was sell cars, have fun, make money, right? Sell as many cars as you can for as much as you can, and that was the strategy. COVID changed things a little bit, but ultimately what we were trying to do is make gross and sell cars. What Walser does is completely different. It's data. It's like taking a business and saying, instead of it being a 30-day business, how do we turn it into a one-day business? I'm looking at the numbers every single day to change my strategy. When I think of my objective at the end of the month, I don't just think of I need to hit 100 new cars. I'm thinking of exactly which model, which trims we have, how many leads per trim are coming in, how many salespeople do I have, how many leads does each salesperson need at their closing ratio to get to where I need to be. That type of analytics is unheard of. It's not that strategic. So as the industry continues to change and we have to evolve, we have to be smarter about our strategy and processes, especially because Walser is a one-price store. It's single point of contact. The salesperson is doing finance, they're doing F&I, and I'll tell you, before I got to Walser, I didn't believe it was possible. There's no way you could tell me you could take a salesperson and have them submit a menu and have the PVR and VSC penetration that my finance guys
Well,
did.
they must have super special salespeople.
No, it's like an assembly line, to be honest. We bring people in who've never had automotive experience, which actually speaks to my story because I didn't have automotive experience. One of the things that frustrates me is when you bring people in and say, well, they've never sold cars before. Well, yeah, that's why they need to start, right? Like, we need an opportunity, right? Today is the day. And so when I see people who just need an opportunity, who are hungry and coachable and trainable, and then you put them in a situation where there's an assembly line type process that lets any of them sell a car, because it's one price, we don't spend time negotiating. What we spend time doing is taking care of our customer. Customers love it, the dealers love it, the employee loves it, and it just makes sense.
Back to the data, how do you look at data that closely so often and not, and for your team and for yourself, not get paralysis by the analysis of the numbers, like just freeze over. Listen, we're just looking at so much data, what do we do next?
I am not a numbers person. That is not my thing, right? Like, I don't like data, but I like stories. So when I'm looking at the data and I'm analyzing what I'm seeing, is I'm looking for the story. What is it telling me? Where am I missing it? The problem in what I used to do was I'd look at the numbers at the end of the month, right? We'd look at the reports. What did we miss? Did we hit our objective? By then it's too late. You're telling a story that's already happened. When you look at the data every single day and I share it with my team, I take the information from market share and I make sure my team knows, what are we trying to accomplish? Your car sales help us accomplish. If I have to sell 15 of this model, how many of you are going to sell one car to get me those 15 units? And so it's a trickle-down effect where we leave information with the general manager and the GSM that the salespeople and the sales managers never know. And unfortunately, then they're never really part of the big picture. But when they're with you on the market share, when they understand that every car they sell is about the big picture, then we as a group have the same initiative. It's not just about putting money in my pocket. What they're saying is, I want us all to win at the same time.
Yes, I want to like transition a little bit, just because the words of like all to win at the same time and bringing people into the industry is also the heart that you carry on the WOCAN work that you're doing, the Women of Color Automotive Network. What have you seen since starting that almost 2 years ago now with the crew that you started that with? What have you seen in being able to bring people along and mentoring new faces and bringing together a community like that that's giving to the industry?
Well, what people say is, when I see you, I see myself, right? And automotive is not as diverse as it could be. And because of that, we need more faces to diversify that, because you need to be able to have people see themselves in the story. So if they never see a woman general manager, how do they know it exists? How do they know that story? If they never see a single mom as a general manager, how do they know that that's something that they could be? So when they see these positions and they see that person manage it with grace and with courage and with vulnerability, then they say, you know what, I see myself in you. And so we have to be more open-minded about the people we bring into automotive. If we expect automotive to change, then we can only change it with new ideas and new thoughts. You know, I say all the time, nobody would go to a dealership and buy all of the same model, right? Because it wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't buy all expensive cars or all cheap cars. You have a variety because it attracts different people in, right? Different people come in to buy the different models. So the same thing is with your employees. If you have a staff that's diverse in culture, in age, in race, in ethnicity, you know, in stories, in what they've been through, then you're going to bring customers in from their families, from their database. It's easy, it's simple, but people look at it and they want to complicate it. But it's really just about making sure your community and your dealership, that they match and that they mirror.
Yeah. I mean, you're not passionate about that at all.
Oh, not at all.
No, yeah, I'm always waiting, whenever we're having a conversation, I'm always waiting for the finger to come out. When the finger comes out, you know we're in for it. Tell me this, it's your first winter.
Yep.
Minneapolis. How
Listen, Atlanta gets shut down with 1/4 of an inch, right? We're shutting the whole city down, right? Yeah. Like, it's a dusting and the city shuts down. When I say, first of all, I appreciate that Atlanta does not have seasons, right? We don't have seasons here. It's like, it's warm, it's hot, it's somewhere in the middle, and it's rainy. In Minnesota, it's 6 months of ice. It's snow, it's boots, it's shoveling snow for the first hour and a half in the morning and plowing for 4 hours before we sell one car. So I have a different appreciation in the Minnesota seasons of what we call the car business.
Well, it's like everyone has an excuse for whatever, right? And now you've learned a whole bunch of reasons to not have an excuse, because the line's still got to be clean.
That's right.
You still have to answer your calls and your emails after.
Do our incident reports if someone slipped? Yeah, all that.
Oh, that's the whole thing.
So what's next for you? What's the focus for your next 12 months?
The next 12 months would be to be a general manager, right? That's a goal of mine. I've been in the car business for almost 20 years. I feel like it's my time. You know, I'm a person of faith. I believe that delayed is not denied. So when the time comes, I will be positioned perfectly in the right time. In the meantime, I'm learning everything I can. I'm bringing as many people as I can with me. And I just say that every person I meet, if I could just leave them better than they were the day before, then I'm in a good place.
That's amazing. Well, Erikka, thank you so much for hanging out
My
with
pleasure.
us. Your passion and affection
Definitely.
for the energy is incredible. Well, hey, earlier today, Paul and I went around Buckhead, and we found someone right here to ask a few questions about their automotive buying experience. So check it out. This man on the street, brought to you by Gubagoo. I'm standing here with Jamie in Buckhead outside of some really cool little walkable area. Jamie, thanks for hanging out with us.
Sure.
So tell me, when was the last time that you bought a car?
20.
From a dealership or from a person?
Dealership.
All right, what dealership in town?
I was a Subaru.
Okay, thanks for not saying the name because I don't know what's coming next. Tell me a little bit about not the buying process, but like shopping leading up to buying. How was that? Like, was it fun? Was it exciting? Was it not? Was it hard? Where did that land? Just the shopping process for you.
Fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy like the test driving part of stuff? Or yeah. All right, so when you bought the car, tell me about that experience. Like, do you remember how it felt to buy the car and all the whole experience with the dealership?
Maybe.
What would you say? Like, would you say overall it was an enjoyable experience or a hard experience?
That one was enjoyable.
Okay, what about that particular one made it enjoyable?
The salesperson was very nice. He was very friendly, very helpful.
Awesome, sounds good. Now, last question. Would you consider in your next purchase purchasing an EV, or are you like gas powered for life?
That's a hard question because I really honestly believe that when I die, I'm going to get run over in a parking lot by an electric vehicle because they're so quiet.
They are. It can sneak up on you. Well, Jamie, thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
Dealerships can be using 2 or 3 different calc engines, and what this can do is have a payment mismatch between what the customer sees online and what they actually get in store, and that can create a huge erosion of trust. We are now on a single calc engine across all of Reynolds. Always comes back to our mission to build the best automotive experiences on earth.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Our next guest doesn't need any introduction, as he seems to lead literally everywhere. He's an automotive thought leader who's always thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else from right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We're excited to spend some time, so put your hands together for Steve Greenfield.
We're happy again.
Steve, rumor has it you have as many cats as there are people in here.
1 for 1. I do indeed. I actually brought them. They're backstage. If you'd like to see them.
No. That's why the sneezing in the mic was happening.
Just listen. This way you can hear them.
That's unbelievable.
There will be no mice in the auditorium tonight.
There you go. No mice.
He's backstage. So thanks for welcoming us here to your hometown.
Dude, it's really great to have you guys here. Really great. I just hope you're on the ground long enough to really appreciate the finer things in Atlanta.
What are the finer things in Atlanta?
Barbecue.
Okay.
Coca-Cola.
Can appreciate that.
I really think it's like become a really, really good restaurant town. So if you have a few meals and get a little bit of a taste of the South, you guys really should enjoy.
That's interesting because you wouldn't, like, most people's mind don't go to Atlanta. They go somewhere in Louisiana or South Carolina or Tennessee, but Atlanta for a really great restaurant town. What's the best restaurant, like, where are you headed if you're taking someone?
I would really think like whatever you want. One of my favorite restaurants is not too far from here. It's actually Persian food, believe it or not. But that's the nice thing about Atlanta. Very eclectic food. I mean, you get a southern sort of theme woven in to many of the menus, but really you can eat very, very well down here.
Nice. I feel like I'm not surprised by the Persian food. The cat thing.
cat.
I mean, it just makes sense. So let me ask you this. We talked to you a lot, so we were like, what are we going to talk to Steve about today? And we thought that one of the
You want to wrap up early?
So what we were thinking was, speaking of restaurants, we've been talking about Toyota. They've been in the news a lot. And their approach to EVs, and they've took a lot of heat for it. Koji Sato became CEO, said we're going to switch things around. Their shareholder meeting, they took some more heat for it. and then the day after they drop this battery technology and are like, oh, by the way, ours is going to be better than everybody else's.
Right.
Like, how are you digesting this current situation?
Well, I think that they are very rational, logical, and measured in their approach. I mean, I'm still amazed, and I don't believe these OEMs, to remain nameless, that have said we're going to be 100% EV by 2035.
Well, what do they rhyme with?
It's not going to
Don't say
happen.
that.
Nice. It's just not going to happen. I mean, the nice thing is, we've got here another like 10 years before that plays out. If we get to 2030, they can always back off and say, hey, the U.S. consumer isn't ready for 100% EVs, which they're not. I'll go on record saying that they won't be. Toyota's take a more measured approach, and I think there's a lot to what they're saying about hybrid technology. You can kind of get the best of both worlds, and that can be a good bridge into the future and allows them to buy some time.
So how do we get, because you get to talk to dealers at 20 groups or going to dealers a lot, you're actually headed there this evening to another dealer this evening. How do we get the move that OEMs are making right now toward EVs, or the way that Toyota is approaching it, as well as other manufacturers, because we've got plenty of different people in the audience in the live stream. How are they, like, how do we get that to ground? What does that mean for, okay, I'm selling cars, I'm servicing cars today, this month, next month. How are you getting that to ground to people to take action on what is coming up in the major OEM news right now?
Right. I mean, I think the problem is, if I'm a dealer, I'm sitting there and saying, now I'm going to have to be able to wear both hats, right? Both from having a salesperson who's going to be able to sell both platforms, right? An ICE platform and an EV platform, help answer new questions like which charger works best and how do I get that installed in my home? But also now I've got to hire and or train a different skill set for my technicians and invest in all these tools that are going to be unique to working on EVs. So there's going to be more cost overall, more complexity of running the business. But I think that any dealer should be, I wouldn't say slow stepping it, maybe the right term, but be very measured with your investments, right? Don't be hyper aggressive around thinking that you're going to go all in, even if your OEM has said, oh yeah, we're going to be 100% EV by 2035.
Because the consumer's going to have something to say about that.
Yeah, so here's a good example, right? So let's take pickup trucks in Texas. So if there's a market for gas-powered pickup trucks in Texas in 2035, do you really think one of the legacy OEMs is going to get out of that business entirely and concede all that very high profitable business to a competitor? It's just not going to happen, right? So we have to be sort of like methodical with this rollout. And if I'm a dealer, I'm like, I believe most of what the automaker is telling me, but I also understand why the automaker is getting rewarded in the stock market when they say things like, hey, we're going all EV, or we're going to generate billions of dollars of new money from subscription products. I mean, it's like, maybe, but to your point, Paul, it's like only if the US consumer is ready for it. And at this point, we know definitively they're not.
You mentioned technicians and the sales of the EVs and the charging of EVs gets all the press. But you just brought up a great point, is that the equipment needed, the training needed is going to be substantial. Mm-hmm. Are you even hearing anything, the technical side of the conversation happening about technician training and building out facilities?
Yeah, it's a big challenge, right? I mean, pre-COVID, all we saw in the press was how hard it was to hire techs. It's going to become even harder. I think the countervailing force will be the fact that techs will get paid more in the future, because they'll have a specialized skill set with these specialized tools. Dealers will be able to pass all of that along to the consumer. The other thing that isn't being written about is I think dealers will be busier than ever in service, despite the fact on a car-by-car basis, the service intervals will be much longer for EVs.
So you said you think they'll be busier than ever? Mm-hmm. I don't understand.
So there's this notion of a defect rate at the end of the warranty period. And if you look at data, about 70% of the time when consumers their car comes out of warranty, they start using an independent repair shop. Mm-hmm. The perception is it's cheaper, right? I'm going to go to Jiffy Lube for my oil change at this point because my car is no longer under warranty. Well, what's going to transpire, I believe, the cars are going to become so complex. Look under your hood now. When I was a kid growing up, I could use a flat-headed screwdriver to adjust a carburetor. Yep. And now I get under there, I'm like, I wouldn't even touch this thing because I might damage something.
Yes.
I don't have the tools to work on this car. That's going to get 10 times worse. I think the consumer is going to be fearful. Like, if I don't take my car back to my dealer at the end of the warranty period, then somebody in an independent repair shop isn't going to be equipped to work on my car without damaging it. So what's going to happen is that defect rate is going to flatten out. So on a VIN-by-VIN basis, car-by-car basis, a dealer is going to see your car less frequently. But when you start stacking them up because of the loyalty coming back, dealers are going to be overwhelmed with the number of EVs that are in the service base. And they're going to be able to charge more per hour because of the dynamics we talked about, more sophisticated technicians and more sophisticated tools.
That is That is a huge value proposition that I agree. It's not getting talked about. It's not getting written about. So we're going to lean in on that. The kind of follow-on question is that where are dealers getting resources for, outside of the OEM? Because a lot of technician training happens outside of the matrix of like just OEM training. Are there resources available right now that you're seeing, or is that an opportunity again for someone to kind of take market share on training outside of OEM training?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are at a lot of dealerships too. The most innovative things I see are I walk into an area where there are 10 service bays, and they've got these literally high school kids in there getting trained and giving them summer apprenticeships to come in from the high school, get credits, but train them up, and then trying to transition them to full-time techs at the end of high school. There's innovation happening within dealers that we need to continue to explore. The most innovative dealers aren't saying, oh, I'm going to go tech, not going to go work with a tech college. I'm going even further upstream into the high schools, which I think is great. And like you guys are trying to do with this brand, try to like re-energize people's excitement to work in the auto industry. I think if you get them in high school and you go, wow, I can get a really good paying job. This is great work and it's fulfilling. I get to work with customers. You can get high school students that can be super energized, and then it's a natural transition to move them into automotive as soon as they graduate.
And make more money than all their friends that go to college.
Combined, potentially.
Well, Steve, our time with you always goes fast. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Stay tuned, because up next is Master Technician Zack Simon.
I love the shirts. It's love people more than you love cars. The cars is the added benefit. They're really buying you. They're buying what you are doing for them.
We've all had that experience where we tell someone we work for a car dealership and they take a step back. And that's because the stigma around dealers and dealerships is incredibly misplaced. Now, we in the industry understand that car dealers and people that work at dealerships are some of the most caring, generous, empathetic leaders on the planet. And so we've set out to change the narrative forever. More Than Cars is a network-style docu-series that we've produced a pilot episode. We have 7 more episodes to make, and we're calling on this industry to get behind it, the people who love people more than they love cars, the people who are ready to push back against the narrative. We're asking you to join us in this campaign to fund season 1 of More Than Cars. Who knows where this is gonna go? You might be watching it with your family on Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, but it doesn't happen unless we band together to make it right now. So we hope you will join us in making the first season of More Than Cars.
I'm telling you what, you never know what you're gonna get when you start asking questions on the seat. Well, welcome back to Live Tonight with ASOTU. We're here at the Buckhead Theater, hanging out with all of our friends in the Atlanta area. Let's make some noise.
Let's go. We know we have a very broad representation of the industry here tonight. So show of hands, little house lights. How many people work at a dealership? A lot.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
How many? Okay, hands down. How many people work for an industry partner?
Look at that. Thanks for coming out.
And how many people just thought they would probably let you in the door when you were walking by? A couple. Todd Caputo has his hands up.
We think automotive is literally one of the best places to make a career. Heck, we've done that. And we want to recognize a couple of you here tonight. So help me out real quick. If you have been in the automotive industry for longer than 2 years, stand up. Help me out. If you've been in the automotive industry.
Should be a lot of people.
Look at that. Look at that. Look around. Look at the. All right, so stay standing if you've been in the automotive industry longer than 5 years. So everyone else, if it's less than 5 years, holy cow.
Wow.
What about 10 years? 10 years, stay standing if you're 10 years.
Holy
other than that.
Crap, not
look
as many
at
as I
this.
thought.
This is unbelievable. All right, we're going to jump it. 17 years. If you've been in the automotive industry longer than 17,
oh my
goodness,
there's
y'all.
still dozens of people
Still
standing
dozens
up.
of people. This is unbelievable. All right, so what did I do?
17.
Should I jump? 25
wow,
years.
That's
if you've
a
been
big
in
jump.
in the industry longer.
Oh, come on.
Come on. All right. All right. Give me 30 years. If you've been in the industry longer than 30 years.
Lost a few.
We lost a few. All right.
Wow.
Wow. Come on. All right. Give me 35 years. If you've been in the industry 35 years.
I'm watching people's faces now.
Come on.
I'm watching everybody's face, and they're like,
40 years. Who's been in the industry longer than 40? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I want to pull all these people up on stage.
Oh yeah, we're one.
What was I at?
2.
Where am I at? 45?
40. You're at 40.
I'm at 40. Anyone 45? 45. Higher? 46? 46.
Yo,
Are we right here?
Is this it? Anybody else?
Is this it?
How many years?
Unbelievable. He said since he came out of the womb. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Can we get both Todd and the gentleman back there in the back?
Yeah, go walk.
Come over. Actually, come on down. We get to talk to Todd later. Come on down. We'll bring. All right, we got one more for you.
Okay, so that's impressive, but what about the other end of the spectrum? We want to find the person that is the youngest in the auto industry. So if you've been working in a dealership for less than 1 year, stand up. Got
Less
front
than
rowers.
1 year, stand
Come on.
up.
Less than 1 year.
We got a couple few back there.
Wow.
Let's give these a hand. Let's start with these.
No, stay up, stay up,
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
Has anyone been working in the industry for less than 6 months?
Less than 6 months.
Okay, anybody else in the back?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah, we got 3.
Yep.
Less than 3 months. Okay, we have 2.
2.
Less than 30 days. Oh, let's hear it. What a welcome.
Go back there, go back there.
Okay,
there we go.
We're gonna head back to Michael as well. Wow, so we have more than 45
Unbelievable.
years and less than 30 days.
More than 45.
In the same room.
In the same room. Michael, hit him up, ask him some questions.
Let's
Let's meet
Let's
these.
start with the the older one in the industry. First, tell us your name. Mike Pendleton. Mike Pendleton, a beautiful name. And how long did we end up in the industry?
45 years.
45 years. Like we're talking, they played Welcome Back Kotter in the showroom for 45 years. What keeps you going strong in the industry?
I actually enjoy the people, but it's always been a pleasure of mine to work with really talented people and talented owners and general managers who care and appreciate what you do for them. And it's just kept me going. And every day I wake up thinking there's a new challenge coming, and what can I do to help out those that are coming in? Or they call me the old man, so yeah, I am the old man.
Okay, we got to make a ton of noise for him right now because that was a beautiful answer. Come stand right over here, if you will. All right, and for the young babe of the industry, how long was it, or short, or how do I ask that question?
This is like my 3rd week.
An infant, a suckling infant in the industry is what we have here. What are you noticing so far? What do you enjoy about it?
Well, I mean, it's just, the environment, my coworkers, it's just a fun place to be.
He's gonna say the paycheck is what he's gonna say. Well, hey, we wanna just show you an expression of our gratitude. My Kyria, where's my helper, my Kyria? We have a little swag pack for each of you. All right, everybody, let's make some noise once again. Thanks so much. You can return your seat. Right back to you, Kyle Malsier.
All right, our next guest is also from right here in Atlanta. Can we hear it for Atlanta again? I feel like we get excited every time.
Listen to what she tells you. Have a good time out there.
He is a master technician with over 15 years experience and currently works with the team at Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Please welcome to the stage, Zack Simon.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star. Yes, you can drive my car. Baby, I love you.
Listen to this. Full on. Did you ever think one sit on a couch could you make you that much of a celebrity?
No, I didn't. But I mean, I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. You've got a few of your crew out here in the audience, right?
For sure.
It's really cool to do that. Zach, so you've been in the industry as a technician for 15 years.
Correct.
Then you've seen a lot of ups and downs at this point, right?
Yeah, so when I came in was in 2007, and I came in as an express tech, and I worked on the line. I worked my way up to the line, and then the economic issues that were going on in 2008.
Gosh. Yeah.
So that was really rough. We went through those times, and I've seen so many different things happen, and we've been the ups and downs of the industry.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because a lot of people that have been kind of like new to the industry just pre the COVID times and the change and the way that people were interacting with dealerships and the fear of economics didn't experience that. And so you've experienced like both times of very weird economic times, especially for dealers.
For sure.
As you've grown over the years, what have been some of the steps along the way that have committed you to staying like, I'm definitely a career person in automotive?
I think I was just super stubborn that this was my career. This was what I was going to do. This is what I chose. When I was in high school, the normal educational path was not for me. And I had made the decision because my dad was the chef. So
Really?
yeah, he was a chef and he had a trade, and he worked his way up into the corporate side of America. And I wanted to grow the same way that he did, because I knew that I wasn't going to go to a four-year college. So he told me that if I picked something that I was passionate about, and I picked a trade, and I found my sheepskin, that was going to be what was going to protect me moving forward. So he said, if you get a sheepskin and you grow with that, and you move on to new things, that's great, but you always have an opportunity to move back to that.
Yeah.
If you need it. So that's I ran with it and went into the automotive field, took automotive technology, and grew from there.
That's
one
incredible.
piece at a time.
Yeah, and now you're a master technician. What does it take to go from lube tech to master technician, and like what is the dedication to be able to study and to learn and understand enough to get to that level at an OEM?
You steal with your eyes. You find a way to build a relationship with the people that are around you.
Yeah.
When I got into the industry, when you build relationships with people that know more than you, you can grow. You do things for them to help them. Now, in my role, I can be the one to share that love with the guys that are beneath me. It's really important to me to make sure that when I see someone who's struggling, to be able to help them, to be able to grow with them, to see them grow, it's an awesome thing.
That's quite a feeling. I've been around a couple tech shops, and I know that there's this particular like brother sisterhood that begins to form in the shop. Right? Talk a little bit about like your shop and how that kind of familial thing happens, and maybe some of the things that you see on a day in, day out basis that makes that possible.
I really think that there's a lot of things that that we do as a group. We joke around, we mess around, but at the end of the day, we're focused on making sure that the customers have a really good experience. At our dealership, it's very important to make sure that when we're working on each car that we're putting in good MPIs. We're putting a good face forward. From the back, it's hard to touch each customer, so we have to touch them from a third party. The best that we can do is to give them what they paid for, give them, and we don't get to talk to them all the time.
Yeah. Well, like a technician is actually intimately involved in the overall driving experience of a customer, right? Yet
For sure.
you rarely actually get to have FaceTime or talk directly to them. How do you, both for yourself and instill in your team, this recognition that I'm not just working on a car, but I'm working on a customer's car? How do you get to that point to make sure that you're always keeping that central?
I think if you have the mentality that, we're all family, you treat a customer's car like you're working on your mom's car. You're working on your brother's car. You're working on someone's car that you know personally. And if you have that mentality, they're going to leave happy. If you run into problems or you have an issue, at our dealership, we're given the ability and we're empowered to make sure we're doing it right. Make sure that the customer's getting the experience they need. If something goes wrong, we can make the decision to do what's right for the customer.
If you know, like you've got a mic at this point, right? And you're looking at the rest of the industry, maybe the young guns, the ones that are just getting started, and they're trying to figure out, hey, is this really the career for me? Should I stick it out? I'm a lube tech. I maybe have other ambitions. What's your encouragement to them, and how can they attack their potential career similar to the way that you have?
Get in the shop, get on the line, do what you need to do. Make sure that every car that you work on is a new opportunity to do the right thing. If you can do that and you stay on the right side of things, you're going to have a great career. It's not always the easy way, but if you do it the right way, the customer is going to be happy and the dealership will cherish you.
Yeah. Now, a lot of times in the auto industry, the sales side gets the mic and the service side. You want to say anything about salespeople or anything like that? You got any gripes to big?
Well, I mean, on a daily basis, we don't deal with salespeople very often. We love our salespeople. We love them. We deal with the service advisors, and our relationship is interesting to say the least at times. But we love them. Their job's hard. Our job is hard in a different way.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a battle, but we work really hard together to make sure that we're doing the best thing for the customer.
Yeah, well, I love that, hey, we laugh about it. There's obviously different departments, but we're all working for the same goal, and that's the
Absolutely.
customer. I think you've highlighted
sure.
that. So, Zach, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you very much.
It's
I
been
appreciate
it.
Don't go anywhere, because right after the break, we'll be talking to Kerri Wise of AutoFi and Zack Krause of the Krause Auto Group.
We want our inventory to stand tall. We want to have a reputation in town that we have really great used cars, and reconditioning plays a huge part in that. Depending on the size of the store, there could be up to 20 people involved in the reconditioning process. But you want to be able to hold people accountable and track things. Before we went to the software, we were doing a lot of handwritten manual logs, and it's a cumbersome process. This software is one tool being used one way by every single team member. What we're trying to do is create some efficiencies to free our people up to do the things that are also important. The key to it is it's a simple software. So you can put as many people as you want on this software, and it'll truly help everybody's job. We all focus on creating a great guest experience, but if you'd like to create efficiency and create a good experience for your employees, make them more efficient within their process, this software will do that for them.
A lot of customers come in with the anticipation of the closer coming in, the manager coming in, but when we have AutoFi in play, it really takes all the stress out of it, because we're able to pull the numbers up 100% transparent, so it makes the process easier for sales and for the client who's purchasing the vehicle. AutoFi benefits me as a salesperson by maximizing my efficiency. I'm allowed to go point A to point B in the process much quicker than having to go back and forth to the desk, which allows me to work with more clients throughout the day, close more deals, and get the dealership more cars out.
Back. We love hearing about how dealers and industry partners are working together and the impact that they're making. Our next guests highlight what a partnership should look like. From AutoFi, please welcome Kerri Wise, and from the Krause Auto Group, we have Zack Krause. All right, I have to say, we've just met for the first time.
Nice to meet you.
For the second time. We met back when we were being Mike, but thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, I've known you for a long time, Paul.
We've known each other
Just to
for
clarify.
quite... No, I was talking about Zack. Yes. Well, thanks for joining us today. So when I heard that you were going to be the guest on the show, of course, I did a little bit of homework.
Uh-oh.
And I was really impressed at the connection your group seems to have with the community. And I know that's something that we hear in automotive a lot, right? A lot of people will see dealers and say, hey, we really care about our community. It's true, they're involved in the community. You kind of take it a deeper level, and I was really curious where the DNA from that, like where that actually came from and where that actually started.
Well, really a couple of things. Like in that, the first episode we just watched, you see things other people are doing, you're inspired by it, and you're like, man, I can do more than what I'm doing now. So you just think of new ways to do it. But I mean, just the big thing that I always come back to is, my sister was the general manager at our Ford and Lincoln store in Alpharetta, and she passed away when she was 30, and we changed the name. So now it's Angela Krause Ford and Angela Krause Lincoln. And so it's just like when her name's on it, like you want to, put your best foot forward and make her proud, right? Because it's her name on it. And so a lot of the things that like my dad's done and focused on is ways to honor Angie. So I'd say that's probably at the heart of it. And there's some other things. My brother works really hard. He's in the business and he has children with autism. And so when you see him and just everything he goes through and then his kids are so happy, and there's just all that goes into that, dealing with autism and getting to where you can be with it, and it makes it easy to donate and be a part of things like that.
Yeah, because it seems like it's a lot more than donating. I saw a lot of videos of your people actually out in the community.
It is.
I'll admit, like there's one where they were buying Christmas presents and filling up a van, and then they were outside and they said, you know what, we're kind of so much in the Christmas spirit, we're gonna go back into the store and just start paying for people's stuff. And they would walk up to the cash register and someone was about to check out with all of their stuff. Like people had TVs and like they had stuff. And your team would go up and say, we just want to like kind of bless you and pay for your bill today. And I was starting to tear up because people were starting to tear up. Because your people are actually in the community doing things like face to face.
Yeah, it's infectious.
It really is. Kerri, obviously a long history of partnership. Right, and really taking a partnership mentality first and foremost, and I know these interviews are short. What I want to focus on is you have a unique insight at AutoFi into consumer data and trends and what people do when they show up, right? And you all obviously work pretty closely together to make sure that you take what's happening at the entrance point of the website and then figure out how to like serve them best. What are some of the trends that you can share with us of what you're seeing consumers do when they hit the website, or what's on the rise, what's on the drop?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting time. Really, the last couple of years in our industry have been crazy in terms of the volatility, the change that has happened. Right now, as you all know, interest rates are as high as many of us have seen, at least in our generation. And what it causes is a change in consumer behavior. So for example, when we look at credit applications that are submitted through AutoFi, they're up 30% year over year. When you look at customers that are subprime, deep subprime, they're up over 60% year over year. What does that tell me? That tells me that customers are more concerned about affordability than ever. And so when we think about the traditional car buying experience, where finance is at the very end of the experience, that's not really matching up with the way customers are shopping and the way their trends are changing with higher interest. They're actually looking to understand affordability earlier
on.
And I guess, from a dealer standpoint, what we're finding is that the dealers that lean into that get over that fear of lack of control, that give the customer the ability to calculate a payment or fill out a credit app or even get approved or check out F&I products, have higher close rates, right? Their close rates are higher. More importantly, we see an increase of about $200 back-end profit when a customer is able to engage with these things earlier in the process.
Zack, is that what you're seeing on the ground?
It is. I mean, it's amazing when you're in the AutoFi portal and you go through each customer, the amount of information in there. They put a trade in, then they took it out. playing with their payments, playing with their down payments, and just seeing the trail, what cars they looked at. I mean, just if you really use it right, you know, if the customer's 20% of the way through, you pick up where they left off, or 50%, it can be anything all the way through. Approvals, you know, counters, decline, and pick it up from there. And just if you can respond in that way instead of just starting out with like, hey, when can you come in and you know, talk to them about what they were doing. It's a really cool tool, and it's helped kind of, you know, change our process.
Give us a quick overview. How big is your group? Like, what stores do you have, and what franchises, and how many?
So it's like 14 campuses, 21 stores with, like, you know, the Hyundai Genesis, Ford Lincoln kind of splits, depending on how you count it out. We're building, man, I'm going through it with construction right now. So we're building 3 Genesis stores. There's 3 Hyundai stores. We're doing like the Ford Pro Elite Service Center. So, you know, zoning permits are like scary words now. It's just.
You're all up in that right now. Oh. What do you think? So just to take it back to something Kerri said, there's definitely a higher anxiety around finance when people walk in, just people not knowing or being uncertain. Are you all seeing that as well out there? A lot of nodding heads. How specifically do you combat that on the ground? Like, how do you address that? What changes have you made to really put the customers at ease when they come in and you know these concerns exist?
Well, you know, I mean, the cool thing with AutoFi is it is so transparent. You're on there, and, you know, when it's spitting out, it's just you're both looking at it, and, like, you know, it's on iPads and TVs and using that. But I mean, it's just a lot of it comes down to just good training and knowledgeable people. Like, you know when you're talking to like an expert in a field. And I mean, so just specifically with your question on the finance side, I mean, you talk to some of our finance guys and they're just ripping through the banks and everything on it, and it's just like, man, you know, you're impressed quickly. So I think just being honest and also having good knowledge and good customer service, just kind of combine the 3 and kind of eases the tension, because it is stressful, I know, at that you know, that point in the buying process, and there's the stigmas you guys are talking about. And
yeah.
We talk a lot about technology. Obviously, I come from a technology company, but at the end of the day, it's all about enabling people, right? If it wasn't for the people, if it wasn't for the team that's looking at the details of the customer and their journey, it's not going to work. Any technology, you need the people that are going to enable it. And what I say when it comes to digital retailing is, why are we okay with enabling our customers to shop online, but we're not okay with empowering our salespeople with that same technology so that they can meet the customer where they are?
That's really good.
I think when we talk about digital retail, did I get an amen in the audience?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got an amen, you got to preach.
I mean, it's not about the online experience, although digital retail, we tend to think about online. I think it's more about empowering our people to sell better, more efficiently, more profitably. And that's what I want to focus on when it comes to technology.
I love that. I love that. Of course, I love that. Right. Talking about investing in people.
Yeah.
You and AutoFi have a booth set up outside, and there's a little bit of a giveaway going on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. If you come by, come see us, hopefully schedule a demo or some time with us after you get back to your dealership. You'll be entered in to win an Oculus. This is way above, like I think I'm way too old for this. They scare me a little bit, but some people like them. So come by, scan our little QR code, give us your information, and we'll pick one lucky winner in this audience.
And when's that going to happen? When are we going to pick somebody?
We'll probably announce it right when we get back, and we'll ship it to you. But after the cocktail hour, that's when
we're going to be hanging out back by the AutoFi booth for sure.
Yeah, have a drink, come see us.
There you go, in that order.
Yes.
Well, Kerri and Zack, thank you so much for spending some of your time with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Sharing your
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is fun.
All right.
Right. Well, sometimes when we're out talking to people, you meet someone with so much passion, you just have to spend more time with them. Recently, a few of us had the opportunity to dine at Tom Colicchio's I don't know. I was there, and I still don't know how to say the name. We were in Las Vegas. We had an amazing dinner at a steakhouse, and our waiter's name was Marvin, and he had been a waiter for over 2 decades. Literally, he flew in from New York to take care of an event at the restaurant in Vegas. So basically, he spent so much time taking care of this table. It impacted us very much. So we sat down and talked with him. Here's a little more about Marvin and his thoughts on the industry. We asked him about the auto industry, of course, brought to you by our friends at Gubagoo.
You know, once again, this is a Tom Colicchio restaurant. We built this restaurant back in 2002. We're still the largest steakhouse in the country. Chef Mike opened a hotel back in 1993, and he worked his way up from a regular cook to executive chef of craft steak.
That sounds a lot like the car business.
That's just how exactly it is. And like I mentioned to you guys before, I am no stranger to that business. I got family members, I got friends.
What is at the center of hospitality?
I think it's just passion. I really do. I think it's a forgotten word. I think it's passion. It was passion 1,000 years ago. It'll be passion another 1,000 years from now.
Describe passion.
I care. It's simple. Passion is about I care. I care what you're thinking about. I care about your thoughts yesterday. I care about your thoughts today. That is passion.
From somebody who is an expert in hospitality, how would you approach the car business with a hospitality mindset?
I would bring it back to the basics. That attitude when a person walks onto that car lot, grabs their attention, caters to their needs, lets them know exactly what they want. I think we can get back to that. I really do. I think that is the future of the car business.
So it sounds to me like you're saying people.
Yes, people.
Because it takes people to have passion.
Exactly.
It takes people to say, I care.
Exactly, that's right. Get back to the basics because that's who we are as a society.
How do you think people want to feel once they purchase a car and are about to leave the dealership?
Excitement. Nobody has that excitement anymore when they bring home a car. People bring home a car and that's it.
Marvin, thank you so much for giving us some more of your time.
Thank you.
It's really been an honor and a privilege.
I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of the companies have been evolving into what you call more of software feel, which is taking the best outside of automotive and actually bringing that into automotive, right? So those e-commerce experiences that customers are having when they're buying clothes online or where they're banking online and those sorts of things, and bringing that into the automotive world because the consumer expects to have those experiences here.
Welcome back to Live Tonight with ASOTU.
Oh, yeah, we'll clap for that. Yeah, sure, why not? We wanted to have a little fun, so we thought we would play a game. Are y'all cool with that? Okay, these people like games.
Yeah, no, and I'm really glad they did because that would have been super awkward if they didn't want to.
No.
But also,
no,
we would have
interviews.
played it anyway.
Yeah. Yes, we would have.
All right, so before I tell you what's in store, let's introduce our team members. For Team Kyle, we have Jaden, Zack, and Shawnee. Yes, make some noise, make some noise.
That's Kylie. She has the second best name.
Okay.
And that's Jerry.
Okay. Jerry. All right. Okay.
Well, this went south quick.
So now I'm scared of the prompter, but we'll read these names anyway.
You should be. Yeah, let's just ask.
And Team Paul, it's Paul.
Hey.
Zach.
Another Zach.
Patrick.
So we're like 50%.
We were 50-50.
We're like 50%.
Just so you know, I changed everything backstage. It's not a joke.
Okay, so we've invited all of you here tonight to play a game we call WordTracks. WordTracks is brought to you by our friends at sMedia. Here we have a stack of cards related to terms in the car industry. One team member at a time is going to step up to the mic. They're going to hold a card over their head. And Paul and Kyle will need to get them, or you guys, to guess the word. You know how you're probably familiar with this game. It's kind of a quip on heads up. Yes. Once you get the answer, you need to step aside and let your team members step in. And so say you get it, you're going to pick it, you're going to step in, you're going to do the same thing, and we're going to try and get as many as we can in 90 seconds. Make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So what do? Do we get some... I'm kind of scared of names now.
It's Jaden.
So
that's Jaden.
So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up that first card.
We did some
We're going to get some
telekinesis
time on the
tests
clock.
backstage, so we're all locked in. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Okay, Team Kyle, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. When you take a customer in a car, they are going on a test drive. Got it.
Test drive. Got it.
Go. Once you sell a car, the customer goes into an office that is called? Finance? Yes, go.
There you go.
The first electric car that everybody talks about that is always in the news. No, goodness. Yes, you got it, got it.
All right.
If you get in an accident and something blows in your face, it's called an
airbag.
Go. Not your monthly payment, but your
Annually?
No, sorry. Get another one. Get another one. The thing you drive.
A car?
Bingo. Next.
There it is.
Come on. Not a service advisor, not a tech, but the person that helps you buy a car.
Porter?
Helps you buy a car.
Oh, salesperson.
There you go. No.
Yeah.
He said the word.
Okay.
Not CarMax, but
Carvana?
yeah.
Y'all been practicing.
For your monthly payment, you pay an amount that's a finance company might charge you an
Interest?
Yes.
All right. 10 seconds left.
Not the tech, but the
Service
5,
advisor.
Got it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Somehow we got the second card at the same thing. Yes. Come on now. How many we get right?
Hey, by the way, this happens every time.
I have a question.
This happens every time.
I have a question. Hold on. You know I'm going to get technical. Hold on. I mean,
are you throwing a flag on the field?
Did anyone else notice he said the word person? Okay.
Oh, see
We're
now.
just gonna count, I'm just going to tuck that away. We'll give you the point for now.
Okay. We're giving it to him. So we got 9. We got 9.
All right.
Which
we're
side?
over here. Switch sides. We're over here.
Let's switch
Line
sides.
up behind the mic.
I'll just do this in the middle.
Team Kyle did pretty good.
We have to heckle.
And I
What do
better
I
get
do
some
with my
simple
hand?
We have
ones.
to heckle them. That's the whole
Okay.
point of this.
Because
So
I think
you see how
Kyle
it
arranged
works
these cards
through
in the back.
All right. Now you know that at every one of these that
You're
we've
bad
done
with
so
words.
far, Kyle's team obliterates you.
I understand.
Okay.
No, actually, I think, okay. How many did they get? How many?
9.
Okay,
So we got
can
9
do
to
9.
beat.
We can do 9, right?
I don't think so.
10
I don't
wins
think they
it,
can do
okay?
Can we
So
do
let's-
9?
Let's get 90.
Oh, the haters. It's motivation. I'm from Philly. Nothing motivates me like people
Okay.
tell me I can't do it.
Okay, I'm going to get these
What's
out of
a
the way
Philly?
so that you
What's a
don't
Philly?
accidentally
Yeah, it's a
grab
horse,
those.
actually.
All right, let's get 90 seconds up
Okay,
on the
let's go.
clock. Ready?
Can we get Eye of the Tiger? Oh, I guess not. Can't.
And go.
A car, a place where you buy a car. Yes.
Dealership, there it is. Don't forget there's a mic there.
It's not an automatic transmission, but you drive it with what do you drive it with?
Stick.
Yeah, we'll give it to him.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
give that. Okay, keep
give it to
going.
him. That's good.
Okay, not a BMW, it's a Highline.
Mercedes.
You got it.
There it is.
What? Oh my gosh, this is Dodge puts these in their engines. They make them go super fast. Okay, we're even on that one.
There's a flag on the field.
Okay, you can find out if your car's been in an accident by going to. Got it.
There it is.
Okay, if I want to give you my car so that I can buy another one, what am I doing with my car?
Trading it in.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. Oh
Let's
boy.
go. Okay, oh my gosh. It is a car that doesn't run on gasoline, but you plug
EV. There it is.
Okay,
We'll
we
give it
gave
to
that
him, yeah.
one. Okay, we got
Oh, they
specific.
gave him.
Okay,
Novel.
a new brand by Volkswagen. It's going to go direct to consumer. Boo.
Walser.
Nope. It's an old brand that is now an electrified brand. Scott Q is the CEO. It's a small van.
No.
You can't do that. Okay. We got some more time.
Let's go.
We got some more time. I want to get you to buy something else, so I'm going to try to what you?
Switch you?
It goes,
fast.
no,
Okay.
no, you can stay. It's not. It's the place everyone walks in when the cars are all sitting.
Showroom.
Yes.
There it is.
We have like 38 by now. Okay, it's a website that is just the word of the
5,
industry we're in.
4, 3.
Something dot
Automotive.com.
Close.
Well,
That felt really long.
you don't work so
I
well
think you
under
got
pressure.
3.
You don't work so well under pressure.
How many we get?
3. 5.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. 3?
So hold on. We got it. There was some fouls there. What showroom's got to, or the control room's got to tell me where we're at.
Controlling. He said 2.
I got the voice I got in my ear. They're like, I don't know, there were so many fouls.
How many did you get? I don't even know.
Okay, the final score is 9-7. Woo! Okay, we need I don't know. All right, Danielle. Come on, Danielle. Come on down.
Presents.
We
got
have
presents for people.
For the winners.
You got the fancy presents, the full swag.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it for them. Let's hear it for them.
All right. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, right?
Okay,
Thanks so
actually,
much.
I'm being told we're calling a bonus round. Kendra from sMedia needs to come up here for that. Is Kendra here?
Oh boy.
If you didn't notice, sMedia is the logo on all these cards and on the screens. Is Kendra? I told her. I specifically told her to be ready.
Oh, no, wait a
okay,
second.
So how are we going to do this?
Second.
I think that
Wait a second.
Kendra gives us the clues and it's you versus me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Georgia. Okay, so you know how this works? Yeah. Good, because
So I need to get 2 and you need to get 0 in order for us to tie. This is going to be very precarious.
This is precarious.
We can do this. How many seconds are we getting? This is truly inaudible.
Thing. You're willing to accept that if he does, in fact, win this round, we got to get him like a WWE belt or like a...
We should do that.
It would be great. Full prize belt.
A golden sprocket.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, how are we doing this?
How much time, first of all?
Yeah, how much time do you think we should do for this?
30 seconds.
30
okay.
seconds.
For the man in the yellow. Okay.
All right.
So actually, we're just going straight in for 30 seconons.
We're going to have...
You get to give us the clues.
Okay, so you're going to step out right over here.
Try to guess.
No pressure.
No.
Okay, give her the mic.
I'm nervous
Give her the
right
mic.
now.
This is a full send
here.
audible, ladies and gentlemen.
Full audible. I have a microphone.
Full send audible.
You got
there you
Full
go.
send. All right.
I'm just
Love
here for
it.
moral support.
All right, I think you should go first.
Wait,
Because
do I
you're
get
already ahead.
everybody?
Don't you worry about that.
No, just the 2 of them.
Oh,
No,
I'm
no, like to help give
we're
clues.
rapid firing me, and then we'll rapid fire
And
her.
she's just going to give the clues?
Alone?
You're giving the clues to
You
me.
know what we should do?
No, I need a little chirp. Like, come on.
All right.
You know what
Perfect.
we should do? We should make this up as we go.
Perfect. The crowd, join in.
All right, here we go.
We love it.
My man. Okay.
We go 30
seconds on the clock.
All right, you guys better help me out.
30 seconds on the clock.
So I can hear you. There
All right,
All right,
now
go.
Can you hear me? You use it when you're reversing.
Gear shift.
No, you use it to make sure you can see.
Rear view mirror.
No, it's bigger, like you would watch it on TV.
Back up there.
Yeah.
15
No, GM, Stellantis,
What is going on?
Michigan, the big three. Big three. Thank you.
There it is, okay. 4, 3, 2,
Media.
1.
Yeah.
Parent.
Marketing,
I
advertising.
can't give it to him for media.
All right, let's go.
So he got 2 right. Kyle's got 2
Don't you
right.
try and get him to give more, okay?
I'll tell you what,
right.
I've never been so confused.
I'm just
in my
gonna
entire
yell.
life.
Maybe like,
You want this closer here?
me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're getting closer?
Yes, we're
Okay.
getting closer.
Okay, got it. Understood.
I'm trying to understand. So yeah, you need 5 to win.
And 5 to win.
Thank you.
This
Four
is
to tie.
and then what do we do? Rip the prizes out of their hands?
I don't care. Are you guys going
this
to
is a
help?
pride
you can't
thing,
even see
Cheryl.
it.
This is full pride.
Bragging rights only.
This
Bragging
is
rights
full
only.
ego.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Can you
30
guys-
seconds on the clock and go.
You do this when you want to go from a hotel to a resort.
Shuttle.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. We'll give it.
Take that.
You do this when you pull in to get your vehicle
Service.
maintenance.
Schedule an appointment.
And try to buy a Coke.
Vending machine. We're going to go with another one.
That actually wasn't bad. Tahoe,
Chevy,
Escalade.
GM, General Motors,
No,
SUV.
There it
yes,
is.
there you go. People pronounce it wrong all the
5,
time.
4,
Continue.
3, 2,
CVO.
Cost per. Certified pre-owned.
So Kyle's the champion. There it is. Okay. So Kyle, you're the champ. Is basically what this comes down to. Kyle is the champ. Okay, so for our last ASOTU on the street, we get to meet Julie. Julie has a simple taste in cars. She only drives Cadillacs, and she thinks that she can give any salesman a run for their money. Check out this man on the street interview brought to you by Gubagoo.
Okay, so I'm here with my new friend Julie. How are you?
Good, doing well.
Tell me about the last car you bought. Where did you buy it?
I bought at a Cadillac dealership.
Okay, and how was the experience?
It was good. To be honest, my friend is a sales guy, so like I know him pretty well.
Do you feel like there is a public stigma toward car dealers?
I don't know, well, you know, they always talk about sleazy car dealers and, you know, that they're just, you know, trying to sell you stuff.
Why do you think it's that way?
You know what, I have no idea.
Do you know some good car dealers and salesmen?
I mean, I do, but I give them a run for their money. I am the last person you want to buy a car.
Do you like negotiating, or would you prefer if the price was just set and you knew there was no room?
I am not afraid to negotiate, and I'm not afraid to ask for the manager to come in. I took a class in college called Persuasion and Social Influence, and so I now am a pretty smart consumer.
If you could buy a car fully online, would you do that?
Probably not.
Why not?
I need to drive it and feel how it drives.
Would you drive an EV?
Yeah, my dream is to drive the Lyric, the Cadillac Lyric.
Do you know where the nearest EV charger to your house is?
No clue.
Would charging be an issue for you?
I mean, it could be. I would get something in my house, you know, but it seems like there's a lot of places, like everywhere I've gone to work at a corporation, there's always like a lot of places to charge up. So I'm not sure.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for giving me a few minutes today.
Thank you, thank you.
We've integrated with Reynolds e-contracting called DealSign, where a customer in digital retailing can fully e-contract with the dealership, and that is a fundable deal.
It's been a lot of fun being able to go from two separate tools, right, a virtual retailing tool and a DMS, to really one tool with basically a single deal from chat all the way to funded cash in bank.
Welcome back to Live Tonight with ASOTU.
And when we're crafting a guest list, we're looking for people who have incredible insights, stories, and they have to look the part, right? Our next guest has at least two of those things. Please welcome the used car king, Todd Caputo. Wow, we've been trying to make this happen.
I know, I
for
stiffed
a
it in
couple of
Nashville.
times.
I really did. I shouldn't have done that, but I did.
No,
I just couldn't get that.
You might have, may or may not been extremely sick.
Yeah, we were probably glad you didn't come.
No, I didn't want to get anybody sick.
What? I know. Well, we did it. We're here. So, you know, Todd is one of my favorite people, for starters, but he's also someone I've gotten to see firsthand how he ran his dealerships, and he's a second-generation dealership, right? You were the one, you came into the business out of the womb, you said.
I went to car shows like in a stroller, like antique car shows.
Yeah.
Car lot. That's what.
I got one of those right in the back.
Yeah, I know you
there.
do.
Yeah,
I took
look
pictures
at
of them.
that.
Yeah. You know, the energy here is awesome, by the way. I just wanted to tell you that. The energy here is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's
the people.
I mean,
Why?
And I want to say this too, right? I don't want to interrupt you guys, but thanks for doing this. This is like nothing that I don't think anybody here's ever seen before. Like what you guys are doing is amazing. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
We're trying.
How about cheers for these guys, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it, guys, this is awesome.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. I want to share some of the things that you're seeing with the people here and also the people on the live stream, because you built your stores. They were acquired by Sonic, and you spent about 2 years opening delivery centers for Sonic across the country.
Yeah, I did.
And now you're a free agent. You're back on your own.
I'm a consultant.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a consultant.
Air quotes, I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
No, but I think you bringing all of this experience to the consulting side, you're probably able to see things in dealerships pretty quickly, right, that are going wrong usually.
Yeah.
What are some common threads that you're seeing, where dealers might just be missing a few things?
So I think the last 3 years have been really traumatic for everybody because of what happened with COVID, and everybody's business and household was just completely turned upside down. Our business was turned upside down. Our homes were turned upside down, and we're coming back to normal now, but the business has changed. I don't want to say the money's coming easier, but I think it kind of is because of the gross profit. It's supply and demand. That's really all it is. I don't think anybody's doing anything more special. But what I would say is, you know, I think that some of the habits that made dealers successful in the past, having to be so aggressive and so sharp because the business was so much more cutthroat and there was a lot less gross profit to go around. I think some of the bad habits are back. And I see it, and I'm not saying that stores are bad or people aren't working, but what I'm saying is, you know, when you're selling cars at $2 or $3 grand over sticker in a lot of cases, or more, or even for sticker like most of your deals, and people, if they don't want the car, someone else just buys it, you can get mediocre. And, you know, when I started this consulting thing, I was working with your agency, right, about something like a tagline. And one night I woke up and I'm like, it's mediocrity. Like, people have to fear mediocrity, and it can get into your life personally, spiritually, your home, and your businesses. And if you get mediocre, when the day comes that things change, which it will, I've lived it, right? I lived through 08, I lived through 9/11. I've seen the ups and downs in this business. When it comes, you better be ready. And if you're mediocre, forget about it, it'll come.
How do you build up the resiliency to not become mediocre? Like, that's a consistent pursuit over time. What are some of the activities that you're encouraging, not just dealers in general, but the people within dealerships to do on a regular basis to ensure that they don't end up mediocre?
You know, I think a lot of it is just attitude and consistency. The people that you had in your first year pilot show, right? Like, all those people, they had this can-do attitude. And it wasn't just the GMs in the stores, it was everybody that was there. The most successful people in any industry just have that can-do positive attitude. And if you have that, you can do anything in life. It's the greatest country in the world. You can do whatever you want. You just want to work, but you got to work. If you think you're going to get it and not work, forget about it. It won't happen. And the easy money that you might be making now won't last forever. I don't think.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Well, you said the money's coming a little easier.
I think so, yeah.
You think it is. And you think that it's easy to get mediocre.
Yeah.
What are the levers? What are the levers that you would pull? Like, say you're back in the store, right? In your store, and Todd had several used car outlets.
A simple thing first, without having to spend any money, listen to your phone calls. Like, no matter who you are, listen to your phone calls that come into your dealership, no matter what the department is. And then the good ones and the bad ones, celebrate the successes and learn from the bad ones, right? The phone is first. People still call on the phone. I don't care what anybody says. Fill out all the forms they want, text, chat. They're calling on the phone. How are people being handled on the phone? And then mystery shop. Hire a professional company to actually do a true mystery shop of your business. Find out where you're weak, find out who you're weak with, and fix it.
Yeah, what are the best dealerships doing that you're working with from like a new process operations? Are there things that you're seeing that are getting customers and employees closer together, like from a process standpoint, or is it really just locking down to some of the core principles that we've always had, or is there something new that you're seeing that's like, if people are doing that have come out of either COVID or come out of the last 10 years that people should be leaning into?
I think that people are just kind of happy to be around other people again. And the dealerships that I'm working with are seeing more social events, things like that. I mean, we've all been locked down for like 3 years, right? And people are just coming back to work and being around each other, not being actually afraid to shake someone's hand or give them a hug or whatever. So what I see the best leaders in the business doing are remembering that. Like, people have been through a lot, and doing social events, not just with themselves, you know, your coworkers, but with your customers too. Bring your customers back into the dealership. I mean, 2 years ago, you couldn't even let someone in your showroom in a lot of states. Like, they couldn't even come in.
Yeah.
They couldn't come in. There were lines on the floor in my old service department before I sold my stores. Red X's, like 6 feet apart. Like, it was plexiglass at the service advisor counter. You know, like, the people part of it is what I see needing to come back more than anything else, and that's what I'm seeing the best people do that are realizing that.
So what's the plan for you? Next 12 months, what are you most excited about?
I don't know. I would say I think there's a lot of opportunity in the business, And people that think that there's going to be a recession and the business is going to get harder, I think it's going to get a little bit harder, but not like it was pre-COVID, because there's a ton of pent-up demand, not just for people buying cars, but for service as well, because not everybody can afford a car anymore. Interest rates are higher, cars cost more, so they're going to fix what they have. And if they have to buy a car, I mean, you had 12 million cars, new cars were getting sold over the last 2 or 3 years, and I think it was actually like around 10 or 11 million when COVID first started. There's a ton of pent-up demand. Normally 16 to 17 million new cars are sold every year. So that's 15 million cars, give or take, that have been out of the market. So business will be good, but people have choices. You know, I'll share this with you before we close. I was at a store last week in St. Augustine, and I was sitting in the showroom, and I always did this when I had my dealerships. I like to listen to customers and listen to people, and I'm listening to these husband and wife chatting while the salesman walk back and forth into the sales office, right?
I imagine you with like a disguise on.
No, I
Right,
just,
the
you know, I was
mustache.
sitting there on my iPad. I was just working on something with the manager that I was working with, but I listened to people, and I'm listening to him, and he said, you know, we're not going to pay over sticker price here. If I have to pay over sticker price, we're going to walk out the door, and that's it. And remember our friend so-and-so, you know, I told her to go to New Jersey, and because they lived in Pennsylvania, and she went to the dealership that didn't charge sticker. People are remembering this sticker price thing, and I know, like, it's an opportunity to make money, right? And we all want to make money, and we could never do it before because we used to have to give cars away for invoice or less, or go back into the holdback just to make deals. But I think people are going to remember. I think brand loyalty's gone completely, and if someone paid well over sticker price or even a little bit over, I don't think they're going to forget. Like, I just don't think they're going to forget, and they'll remember. So, I mean, I guess that's the last thing I just wanted to share with you guys. And that's a lesson for everybody, right? And the same thing in service, right? Like, don't take advantage of people because they have a lot of choices, a lot of cars to buy, and they can get the car serviced anywhere, so.
Hey, might as well be with you and might as well make it a memorable experience on the good side so that they do come back.
Yeah.
Todd, the insights that you have, we could always like ask a deep amount of questions for probably an hour, but really appreciate you spending some time with us and coming on the show.
You guys, thanks for doing this. This is great. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
If you like what they're doing, people in the car business need to know about this. Share it on social media. What you guys are doing, there's hundreds of thousands of people that work in the industry. I think they need to know about this. Like, so share it. If this is going to be on YouTube, right? It's going to be published. It's going to be on YouTube. It's
going to live stream tomorrow.
It's going to live stream tomorrow. If you have friends in the industry, I know most of my friends, they're all friends from the car business. Nobody else likes me but people in the car business. So I'm sure for a lot of you, it's the same way. You have friends in the business that sell cars, service cars, work in the wherever. Like, share it. Like, get this out there so people know what you're doing, because the conception that the industry has, like, and what you guys talked about this whole time, is real, and the more people that know about it, the better. Honestly, it's just, it's great, so thank you.
We agree.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
so much. Appreciate you coming on.
This is Live Tonight from the Buckhead Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. When we come back, we have our final guest of the evening, and it's Liza Borches. After this.
welcome back to Live Tonight with ASOTU. Cirillo.
Hey.
How you doing over there, boss?
Get a little far still, but I understand why I've
Have
been...
you recovered from the whole game scenario?
No.
Do you have any more
I was
musical
trying to think
numbers?
of something clever, and I was just like, I'm just going with it.
Any more musical numbers planned?
None of your business.
None yet.
Boss.
Al, you better watch him. You better watch him.
Yeah, I don't believe any of
Nothing
this.
is planned, he said.
Oh, man. Well, our last guest of the evening is one of our favorite people in the auto industry, and she coined the phrase, actually, love people more than you love cars. You may have seen a few of those shirts around. Maybe you're wearing one. It's 7 words that have become a rallying cry for our industry, and we're always honored to spend time with her. So please give your best Atlanta welcome to Liza Borches. Told you, put it on a shirt. After you. Well, this isn't the first time we've gotten to do this.
No, but being short, I gotta put a pillow behind my
You know, and that couch is like a couple inches shorter than the last one, so
Much
not
better than the
intentional.
last one.
Oh.
So I've got, I mean, the couch, yeah.
Oh boy.
So I've
See,
got
we're getting
one
reverse
request.
interviewed a few times. Yes.
The dealer went down to Georgia song needs to be professionally recorded and launched as a part of ASOTU. Maybe even somehow get away with the copyright and be able to put it on Spotify.
We can do this.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Can we do that? We can do that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure it out. We
Okay.
got a few people in Nashville. We can do this.
Yeah, So we wanted to talk about something that is real time, and technician recruiting seems to be something you're putting a lot of energy behind. Can you tell us about what you're doing, because it's something we feel like the industry needs to hear more about and emulate more?
Well, I think we all got to hear from Zack earlier and the importance of, I mean, the technicians are truly the hidden gems of our dealerships, and we don't get to hear enough voices like Zack's and so many of the technicians who run our dealerships and truly make an impact that people don't realize on people's lives. So we're doing a couple fun things. One of the things, you know, the spring is the time where we see high school students signing with colleges for maybe a sport that they play. In our town, we see a lot of lacrosse and soccer and a few football players signing with colleges, and they're praying that they're going to have a career one day playing the sport that they love. So one of the things that we did at CMA, we started signing days at all of our local technical schools. And so now we've got other dealerships in our communities as well. And so what happens on the day of graduation, the students get to invite their friends and their families, and we make a huge deal of it. And we put the names of the dealerships behind it. The student gets called up. They sign their agreement saying that they're coming to work at CMA. They get a complimentary toolbox. We've got other vendors that all donate things from work shoes. They get their new shirts, just like a jersey, to come be a part of our company. So that's been one of the fun things that we've started doing.
Signing days. I feel like these need to be
the
live
separate
streamed.
repeat, like behind them?
Yeah.
Like with the hat and
Yeah.
the cameras and the
Yeah.
thing.
That's That's really, really cool. What is that feedback from the actual technicians? Like, how are they perceiving that? Is there an energy before and after, or is it kind of like, I don't really know what to do with my hands type
They're
thing?
super proud. Like, their parents are there. A lot of them brought friends. They had sisters and brothers that were younger that we're now hoping will go down this path. The first time it was a little awkward because none of us really knew what we were doing, but by the third school, it became a thing, and we wanted other dealerships to be a part of it, because this should be about hopefully attracting technicians to our industry, not just to CMA. So that's one thing. And then one other cool thing that we're hoping ASOTU will do a story on, because we're about to open it next week.
Chris is here.
Chris, wherever
Chris
you
is
are.
running the teleprompter tonight, so he's probably taking notes
He's
now.
typing it up. He's like, tell me the story.
So
Here it
next
goes.
week, we have a very large mall in Richmond, Virginia, and you all know malls are struggling a little bit.
Yep.
So they had some empty space, and now about a third of this mall is going to be an entire training center for trades. And so what's happened is—
Wait, a third of the entire mall?
Yes, yeah.
It's going to be a training center for trades, like
All different
HVAC,
trades.
electrical.
Yes, plumbing, automotive. So we have a whole training center that's actually a public-private partnership from the county to the local technical school and community college, and then our dealership group. And so what happens is when they come into the mall, they're going to see a whole storefront for Carter Myers Automotive. We've got touch screens and kiosks where they can hear technician stories, they can learn about our ESOP, about our mission, vision, values, and they have to walk through that to go to their classes. So it's got adult education, younger student education, and they'll go into their classes through our storefront where hopefully they'll then apply for their first job.
So what is, aside from the storefront, what is your level of involvement like? What is your group's obligation in the training part of it?
We are actually not financially involved. I mean, it's all the local technical school doing the training. But I can tell you that every professor, teacher that's a part of that school wants their students to come to CMA. And you know, a couple of years ago, we were struggling a lot with technicians. We now have more apprentice technicians wanting to join our company than we have spots for.
Wow.
But I've told our recruiter, I said, do not stop.
Right.
We'll keep
Bring them on.
we'll keep finding places for them. But
You're going to start a recruiting arm for like local.
Oh yeah. How about there? How about there?
Well, our recruiter, 75% of her job is just focused on recruiting technicians.
Wow.
And I shouldn't even say recruiting technicians. She's out there telling our story. She's going to technical schools, local community colleges, high schools, and sharing the CMA story, sharing the career paths, sharing our technician stories, getting to know the parents. We have parent nights in our shops where they can come learn about the career path. And so Beth has really created an entire culture around the importance of technicians in our company and sharing that story into our communities.
That's unbelievable. I'm pumped.
I want to know, like, because it's not just I know a lot of the folks in this room might be a little more familiar with what that career path might look like, but on the live stream and as we put this content out later, can you explain the basics of the career path for someone who comes in and signs, right? What does their life look like over the next 5 years?
Right. So we have career paths specific to CMA, and then we also have them outlined now, just recently, by brand, so they can actually see the different types of classes they would taking within the brand that they might choose within our company. So typically they'll come in as an apprentice technician. We have a list of the skills that they have to learn and earn. And I have to give Beaver Toyota a shout out because we learned some of the career pathing from them. So we've outlined what skills they have to learn as an apprentice technician. They typically then move into being an express tech for a certain period of time. They move through. Right now, we have 3 levels of express tech that they have to learn. Then they would move into a line tech, and then each OEM has different names, whether, certified, master, expert, et cetera. And so they can look at all the different classes that they'll be exposed to, the mentor that they would be connected to in their store, and also get an idea of the type of pay in each of those levels. So their parents can see also when they encourage them in that direction that it's not a one-stop.
Yeah,
and that's the end of their
career. It's really cool that like the parent is also involved in that move. Just as we wrap up, you're obviously looking extremely broadly at the industry, not just at what you're doing with the technicians, but because you represent so many brands and you serve the industry well and being a part of so many panels and things to serve the industry. What over the next 12 months or what are you looking at over the horizon right now as you're working with the OEMs and working with other dealer partners? What are you really looking at to push forward?
Well, you're not going to be surprised by my answer because my job as the CEO of our company hasn't changed in the last 3 years. It was the same 5 years ago as it is today. And it is 100% solely focused on attracting, retaining, and developing the absolute best people that we can connect with and build relationships with in our company. Because whether what the environment that Todd was talking about with great grosses and selling cars at sticker, or what was happening before COVID, or whatever's going to be happening in the next 5 years, whether it's electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, subscription vehicles, flying cars one day, I don't know. It all comes down to having incredible people who our communities trust to help them make automotive decisions. I shouldn't say automotive, transportation decisions. Because in 20 years, we don't know what that's going to look like. But if they see us as the trusted advisors that they're going to go to help make decisions they've never been faced with around transportation, then we're going to be around for many, many, many more generations than all of us sitting here.
Hey, we can clap for that, I think, as everyone. Liza, you are an encouragement, and thank you so much for giving ASOTU so much in your care for Paul and myself and for the community of automotive at large, in addition to the brand of CMA. And thanks for spending some time with us here.
Well, let's keep sharing the stories. You all are doing an amazing job.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's crazy to think that just 1 year ago, actually, just a little bit over a year ago, we had just barely come up with the idea of our conference that we call ASOTU CON. We didn't have a venue or speakers or really anything, but by September, we had managed to put together the very first ASOTU CON, and it ended up being something that changed the face of automotive conferences.
Yeah, so we knew for this year, of course, we had to go bigger. We got a bigger venue, a bigger schedule, a bigger guest list. We're excited to announce that our closing key, I didn't know we were announcing this right now.
Can we get a drum roll? Can we get a drum roll, please?
Right now. We're excited to announce that our closing keynote speaker for ASOTU CON 2023 will be the owner of the Savannah Bananas, Jesse Cole.
Hey!
You can find Jesse on ESPN or on his world tour where there's a 500,000 person waiting list, believe it or not.
That's unbelievable.
But you'll be able to see him at ASOTU CON, and here's a little bit more about ASOTU CON 2023. Okay, we're on the stage here in Baltimore at the scene of ASOTU CON 2023 collaboration critical.
It is going to be September, the night of the 25th. We kick off the welcome reception, and then a full 2 days, the 26th and the 27th.
We're going to have all the energy, all the experts, all the swag, and all the feels that you expect from the ASOTUverse as we rewrite the narrative around the retail auto industry together.
You're up. That's you.
You can get your tickets for ASOTU CON 2023 right now by visiting ASOTUCon.com. We're offering tickets at troublemaking prices. Through the end of June, dealers can get in for just $3.99 a person.
It gives you 2 full days of conference with food, entertainment included.
Really good food.
Really, actually.
And a really great venue.
Really great venue. We'll have more speaker and collaborator announcements coming soon, but the whole list is going to be absolutely stacked.
It is. At ASOTU, we do a lot, and I'm not going to list everything because we'd be here for another half hour, and it's too late for that. But we do it because, like so many of you, we love the automotive industry.
And whether you take part in an event like this or read our daily email, we hope you're encouraged and are reminded why you love the automotive industry.
So thanks for watching tonight, and thank you to our amazing guests. If you're close and you were a guest.
Whoa. Hey.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Hold on a minute. I mean,
I knew we weren't going to get.
I knew it. We weren't going to get to the end.
I mean, come on.
Do you see the fiddle player?
Look, as the assistant director of the band at this point.
Oh, he's got a title.
I feel like there's only one way to end this thing. Band, right? You with me? You feeling me? Can we do this?
No.
Will you make my dreams come true? Okay. Now let's turn our minds to that great Atlanta philosopher and lyricist, Lil Jon, and ask ourselves, turn down for what?
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Atlanta, for showing up. Give yourselves one more round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. Come on. Stand up right here. Thank you.
Great job.
Thanks again. You made it awesome. Thank you. Give us shirts. More shirts. We can head off the back unless you really want to stay out here longer.
Shirts I can throw.